What's going on, everybody? I am back to break down this 6-game NBA DFS slate on DraftKings and FanDuel after absolutely crushing yesterday. The KJK DFS squad definitely cashed in, guys. Excited to get back into it. Our lock of the night, Hamidou Diallo, absolutely going off last night. 71.5 DraftKings points at a 7.7 price tag on DraftKings. If you played him on FanDuel, where he was even cheaper, guarantee you were very happy with his performance last night. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video tonight for my lock of the night once again. And on Parlay Play, the sponsor of the channel, we were able to cash in on a 4-leg parlay pick to 10x our money yesterday. Saddiq Bey over 28.5 parlay points. Derek White over 29.5 parlay points. Hamidou Diallo, Jakob. We turned $25 into $250 in our $10 bankroll that we once started with. Is now up to $258.27, guys. So awesome stuff yesterday. Really looking to keep it going once again. Hopefully you cashed in on this pick, man. I was feeling really confident about it. If you haven't signed up on Parlay Play, sign up today. I'm going to be having picks like this throughout the whole entire season. Our record sits at 6-6. I'm only 6-6 on my picks. I mean, that's respectable. Definitely not the greatest in the world, but look at the bankroll. We've gone from $10 to $258.27. So it just shows you can be profitable. You just have to make the right picks at the right time. Opportunity cost is a thing. And I'll be having another Parlay Play pick tonight on the live stream. Going live an hour and a half before lock. It's 6 p.m. Eastern time for lock tonight. So I'll be going live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time for you math majors. And this is just proof of the pick, guys, hitting last night. So $25 entry. We turned that into $250. Love to see it. Saddiq Bey, Derek White, Hamidou Diallo, Jakob. Sign up on Parlay Play today. Use promo code KJK003 or use the link down below in the description. That's the easiest way to do it, guys. Just click on that link. It'll automatically lock in that code. When you do, you get a risk-free $10 to start playing with over there. That's what we started this bankroll challenge with. You also get an instant match deposit up to $50. Make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video for my lock of the night. And if you do enjoy the content, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. And with all that out of the way, let's get back to winning some money today, guys. Let's get into the breakdown. As always, game by game here. Orlando taking on Boston. First game on the slate. Jason Tatum is listed as questionable. That is obviously a very big piece of news. If he's in, that's going to take a hit to the other guys in this rotation. If he's out, Jaylen Brown's going to continue to be a fantastic play. As far as a total in this game right now comes in with a 216.5 over-under with an 11.5 point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics. So Boston's expected to blow them out. If they get Jason Tatum back, it's going to be probably even more of a blowout here. So that's certainly something that's worth monitoring because we know the Orlando Magic are very short-handed. They're going to continue to be very short-handed. And the only news that we got is the possibility of a return of Mo Bamba here, questionable. So if he comes back, that's going to help a little bit. But his conditioning is the main thing here. He already cleared health and safety protocols, so it's just a matter of whether they can get his conditioning up to par here. And if he does, then he could return. That would obviously help the Magic out a little bit, but he might be somewhat limited. If he's limited, he's not going to be much of a good play here, so that's certainly something that we're going to be keeping our eye on. Could shake things up. He's kind of expected to return. Terrence Ross expected to return as well, so the Orlando Magic could be getting a little bit healthier here. Terrence Ross isn't on the injury report ahead of Sunday's game, so he could once again be back. And if he's not limited, which it doesn't really look like he is, I mean, these guys could definitely capitalize on their return because the Orlando Magic have been so short-handed. They've been running all these guys out for so many minutes. Franz Wagner, Wendell Carter Jr., you know, a guy like a Terrence Ross is going to help a lot off the bench, so maybe he becomes a little bit more of a viable play. We'll keep our eyes on the news, what the feel is. I have a feeling he's not going to be limited, so at a 4.9 price tag, do you think that he's a pretty reasonable play? There's still no Jalen Suggs. Marco Fultz has been out, but he continues to be out. Michael Carter-Williams, Robin Lopez. If Gervette continues to be out as well, he is listed as questionable. Obviously, you know, Terrence Ross is going to become that much more phenomenal of a play. And if Jason Tatum's out, Dennis Schroeder is the other big piece of news. Marcus Smart and would obviously get a big bump if there's no Dennis Schroeder. You could also be taking a harder look to a Peyton Pritchard, who's gotten the start a few times. Only played the 13 minutes last time out. Really busted for us, unfortunately, the time before as well with the 34 minutes. So, you know, Peyton Pritchard with Marcus Smart being back in the picture doesn't exactly look like the guy you're going to be looking to. It would be a Marcus Smart play. And then obviously Jaylen Brown and Al Horford, as well as Robert Williams, all going to continue to see a lot more usage, a lot more upside. Robert Williams also being listed as questionable. If he is indeed out, we could see some more run for Grant Williams. And Al Horford gets a big bump up. So lots of moving parts there, but I think we did a pretty good job of clarifying which ones get a bump if certain pieces are out, so we'll move on. Indiana taking on Cleveland is the next game on the slate. This game comes in right now with a total of a 211 over-under with a 3.5-point spread in favor of the Cleveland Cavaliers, so expected to stay close here is this one. And as far as the plays that we're going to be looking to, there is indeed no Malcolm Brogdon. There's also no Chris Duarte in this one, which is a pretty big piece of news here. With Chris Duarte out, with Malcolm Brogdon out, Karis LeVert's going to get a huge bump up. We're also going to see Domantas Sabonis get a big bump up, although he's not directly correlated with the on-guard, on-ball handling responsibilities such as a Karis LeVert. Naturally, more usage is going to flow to him. He's going to have more upside as well. Karis LeVert gets the biggest bump up as far as on-ball handling duties, and Miles Turner will also get a big bump up here. So all these guys on the Indiana side, certainly worth monitoring. Jeremy Lamb continues to be out as well, so we're going to see a lot of minutes for Torrey Craig, Omar Brissett. I mean, these guys could be phenomenal value plays in your tournament lineups tonight because the fact of the matter is they're going to need minutes out of them. They have Dwayne Washington, Torrey Craig, O'Shea Brissett. As far as how these guys produce on a permanent basis, going ahead and pulling up the Indiana roster here because, of course, that is going to impact who we're really wanting to play. Obviously, Karis LeVert and Domantas Sabonis putting up lots, over 1 DK point per minute apiece, going to be fantastic plays. Justin Holiday going to get a lot of minutes, 0.66, not the best fantasy point per minute producer, but when you look at Torrey Craig and Brissett, they're both sitting right around 0.79 DK points per minute. That is pretty good stuff. You're also looking to a Dwayne Washington, who's only at a 3.3 price tag, putting up 0.74 DK points per minute. I do think that he could be a pretty phenomenal value here as well. 47-minute sample size, 5 games. That's enough to, convince us that he's a pretty respectable fantasy point per minute producer, and if he's going to get the start at only a 3.3, saw 30 minutes last time out, put up 21 DraftKings points. I mean, that's definitely respectable. He could put up a lot more. Now there's no Chris Duarte as well. The minutes are going to be solidified there. So certainly some value to be had here. On the Cleveland side, with there being no Darius Garland, and now there is no Ricky Rubio. He's out for the year. There has been quite a bit of minutes opened up. They got rid of Denzel Valentine, so there's minutes to go around here. Kevin Love, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Lauri Markkanen, all kind of cutting to each other's usage is the only problem here. I do think I'm going to continue to like Kevin Love off the bench. He has just been phenomenal. He's been producing at a great rate here. He played 30 minutes last time, although he came off the bench. He put up 59 DraftKings points. The production has been ridiculous. The problem is his price tag's gone all the way up to 7.8. It was only at 6.7, so now it becomes a little bit difficult to go there, but if you're willing to kind of bite the bullet and swallow your pride, I do think Kevin Love can get you there. The production has been absolutely phenomenal. He's been putting up like 1.34 DK points per minute. He's going to continue to really produce at a high rate. We know that. It just comes down to the amount of minutes he gets and the price tag. Now that the price tag is going way up, it's a little bit scary, but I do think that we can continue to go here, guys. And I do think that that could pay off for you in your tournament lineups if you do go to him, and some people are scared off. So that's kind of going to be my approach here. It's a little bit dicey. Don't get me wrong. It's not as much of a lock as what we were looking at before. But if you're willing to bite the bullet, I do think that it could pay off for you here. So that'd be kind of my approach here. And then obviously Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, their minutes are pretty solidified. Their price tags are also pretty appropriate. So I wouldn't load up on too many Cavs here, but 2 or 3 of these guys certainly viable. And then obviously the guard positions for me are a little bit dicey. Kevin Pangos, etc., the guys that are filling in for Cleveland, I'm just not really willing to go there. People have kind of taken them twice in a row now. They continue to kind of fail. I'd rather go to a Dwayne Washington, who's cheaper at only 3.3 on the other side of this game. That'd be my approach. Miami taking on Sacramento. Bam Adebayo continues to be out. There's no Rashawn Holmes. There's no Gary Vincent, Max Struss, Dwayne Dedmon, Duncan Robinson. So there's going to be some minutes to open up here and go around. The biggest piece of value or biggest upgrade is Yurtseven. He continues to play phenomenally. Has been priced in the upper 4K range to mid 5K range the last couple times out. Now he's in the mid 6K range. So his price tag is getting a little bit more appropriate. But when you look at his production on the season, he's going to be worth it. I mean, the guy's been producing phenomenally on the Miami side of things on a permanent basis for Yurtseven. He's been putting up 1.11 DK points per minute. So even though he's getting priced up, I still do think that he's worth it. Going to be a phenomenal value play here. And when you're looking at the starting lineups in this game for the Sacramento Miami Heat game, one of the biggest pieces of value that's going to stick out to me is Damian Jones. He's expected to get the start for the Sacramento Kings. He is the dead minimum salary over here on DraftKings. Expect him to play quite a few minutes, and he produces at a very high rate here. So when pulling up the Sacramento side and going down to Mr. Damian Jones, we can see that he's putting up 0.96 DK points per minute on the season. That's over 263 minutes, 21 game sample size. Almost a DK point per minute. He's only 3K. He's going to be another piece of phenomenal value in this game for me on the slate today. Really grading out as a phenomenal play. He's seen 23, 27, 22, 19 minutes. And like I said, it really just comes down to his minimum salary. I mean, no Rashawn Holmes. He should continue to see these minutes. Only a 3K price tag. Certainly standing out as a phenomenal value play to me on this slate. His teammate Marvin Bagley at 4.6, also a guy that you could certainly be looking to on this slate tonight. With there being no Rashawn Holmes, should get some more minutes. Also a good fantasy point producer. He's been rated in the mid-20s. If he's able to get up maybe more towards that 30 mark, I do think that he could get you there. So if you want to go to him, I certainly would not talk you off him. At a 4.6 price tag, 0.94 DK points per minute. Another guy you could be looking to on this slate tonight. And then as far as anyone else in this game, we do have Davion Mitchell returning on the Sacramento side as well at only a 3.5 price tag. Another source of value in this game that you could possibly be looking to, looking at his production. He's not listed on the injury report Wednesday. As far as his first game, he played 25 minutes at a 3.5 price tag. His overall production, he's been putting up right around 0.78 DK points per minute on the season. And I do think that with the Kings dealing with some of these injuries, most notably if Terrence Davis continues to be out, he's going to get a big bump up here. So that's the big piece of news there that I was trying to get at. Terrence Davis, if he's out, I do think there's more room for Davion Mitchell to operate, and I do think that he would be a pretty good value play. And then, of course, on the Miami side, as long as Bam Adebayo continues to be out, I think that Jimmy Butler is going to be an absolute usage monster. As far as a total in this game does come in with a 221.5 over-under, 3.5 point spread in favor of Miami. So, do think that this game is going to offer plenty of pace for Mr. Jimmy Butler to get there. Caleb Martin continuing to start on the Miami side. He's been a little bit disappointing, but his price tag continues to be down. There is no Max Struss. There is no Duncan Robinson. As long as that continues to happen, Caleb Martin is going to be a fantastic value play. The only thing I would mention is that if one of those guys were for some reason to return from the protocols, obviously he's going to take a hit. But Kyle Lowry, Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, all going to be fantastic value plays. I just wouldn't want to play all three of them in the same lineup. Kind of mix and match. Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero are definitely negatively correlated. I think that Jimmy Butler, no matter what happens, is going to really continue to dominate. And then running it back on the other side with Halliburton being my favorite option. But with all these guys returning, I'm not getting too excited outside of the value play in Damian Jones, to be honest with you. That'd be kind of my approach here. Phoenix taking on Charlotte is the next game on the slate. Love targeting Charlotte games. They continue to be like the top plays on the slate. I mean, the top games on the slate. It's 231.5 over under. Charlotte's terrible defensively. They play at a high pace. Anytime they play someone, their opposing team gets a big bump up. All of that fun stuff. On the Phoenix Suns side, their centers continue to be out. There's no DeAndre Ayton. There's no JaVale McGee. For that reason, Jalen Smith at 5K going to be a phenomenal value play. This guy's been producing at a very high rate on the season, pulling up the Phoenix Suns roster, pulling up the Charlotte roster. We can kind of dig into this game a little bit. As far as his overall production on a permanent basis, Jalen Smith putting up 1.09 DK points per minute. So phenomenal. He's only 5K. Once again, a great value play, and he does have power forward and center eligibility, which is going to help us get him in some more lineups. Miles Bridges on the Charlotte side continues to be listed as questionable. He did clear protocols. It's just a matter of conditioning. If he does return, that's obviously going to take a hit to some of these guys on the Charlotte side. Gordon Hayward, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre Jr. all would take a hit here. Kelly Oubre, you get a little bit of a revenge narrative taking on his former team in Phoenix. Terry Rozier has been phenomenal at 6'7". This guy's put up a lot of DraftKings points recently. Certainly willing to go back to the well on him. Gordon Hayward. Once again, this is a spot where you want to mix and blend these guys, not get too crazy, but in the fastest paced game on the slate, I do think it makes quite a bit of sense to go up to the pay options in a LaMelo Ball, in a Devin Booker, in a Chris Paul. Specifically Devin Booker, Chris Paul. This is a phenomenal spot. The Charlotte Hornets are terrible defensively. This is the perfect spot for a guy like a D-Book that can get to the rim, shoot the three ball, scoring machine. He could easily drop 60 points in this matchup if he does get hot. We've seen him do it before. We've seen him do it against difficult opponents. We've seen him do it against easy opponents. I think this is a phenomenal spot for Devin Booker, and he's a guy that specifically I would definitely be wanting to get some exposure to tonight. I think he could have a ceiling game here. And with JaVale McGee being out, I think we're going to see some more minutes for a guy in a Cameron Johnson. Also going to be a phenomenal spot for him. Cameron Johnson, Mikal Bridges, all the guys in the starting lineup. But, I mean, Cameron Johnson does produce at a pretty high rate here. Looking at his overall production on the season, putting up 0.86 DK points per minute, expect him to get plenty of runs. So, at his price tag of 5.4, once again, love targeting the Charlotte team. They've been terrible defensively. Get some Phoenix Suns in your lineup specifically. Obviously, my favorite one being Jalen Smith at 5K with those centers being out. His production's been phenomenal. I'm really going to like him as a play here. So, next game on the slate, we have Dallas taking on OKC. As far as the total in this game, Luka Doncic is finally back. This game right now comes in with a total of, let's select everyone back again, 207.5 with an 8.5 point spread in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. So expecting to be somewhat close. Dallas expected to win this game fairly easily, though. The Oklahoma City Thunder are pretty depleted. As far as anyone I'm looking to target, with Luka Doncic coming back, does make this side a little bit less intriguing. Kristaps Porzingis is ruled as doubtful in this game, though, which is a pretty relevant piece of news that is going to definitely make us have some interest in Maxi Kleber. Maxi Kleber all the way down to 3.7. Do you think that he could be a pretty phenomenal play here, playing 30-plus minutes a game, can shoot the three ball very well, you get that 3-point bonus on DraftKings. And, lastly, the price tag is very friendly here, so I certainly will like him. Dwight Powell also becomes a decent value play as well at the 4.2 price tag. With there being no Kristaps Porzingis, his production recently has been pretty respectable across the board. He's typically a guy I shy away from. I like playing Maxi Kleber better in these spots, so I'll just say that much. But with Luka Doncic being back, he exited a protocol Saturday, and he's off the injury report. I tend to think Luka Doncic, he's a young guy. He's just going to be ready to go here, full-blown. I don't really think he's going to be somewhat limited in his return. I'd expect him to see the upper 30s in minutes, and there's no Kristaps Porzingis, so he should have a bunch of usage here. The problem is, does this game stay close? But I think he's going to be a phenomenal pay-up option, and I wouldn't shy away from playing him. So we have the value in this game with the pay-up options, and on the OKC side, there's no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in this game. He entered protocols on Saturday. That's a big piece of news. That is a very big piece of news. So on the other side, we have Ty Jerome, Aaron Wiggins, both priced way too cheap, 4.2 and 4.1. Pulling up the Oklahoma City roster here as far as how those guys are produced on a permanent basis. We'll pull up OKC and the Dallas sides just so we can kind of talk about all of this. Oklahoma City side, I mean, these guys are going to be phenomenal value plays. Ty Jerome putting up 0.87 DK points per minute really stands out to me. Aaron Wiggins, 0.68. Not quite as good, but he has been very good, especially when there was no Shai Gilgeous the last time out. So Ty Jerome definitely going to be my favorite of the two options, but I think that both these guys are very good sources of value on this slate tonight at their respective price tags. So certainly a spot that I would be looking to. And I wouldn't be shy about getting them in my lineups to get up to some better pay-up options that we talked about, like the Luka Doncic. And in the last game, Minnesota taking on LA Lakers, we do have some more good pay-up options. LeBron James is listed as questionable. He is more so probable. Obviously, LeBron James has been phenomenal. He put up 78 DraftKings points last time in only 29 minutes in a blowout. 12K price tag, but for good reason. The Minnesota defense does not scare us. D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns continue to be out. Anthony Edwards is listed as questionable. If Anthony Edwards is out, that's obviously a big piece of news. That would free up a bunch of usage. We'd be looking to a Patrick Beverley, a Malik Beasley, a Jaden McDaniels, a Jalen Noel. All these guys would become much more prominent plays. And I do think regardless, a guy like a Naz Reid and Janet Vanderbilt are in play here at 5.1 and 5K. That's pretty cheap for their output here. Naz Reid hasn't got a full allotment of run, but I do think it's just a matter of time before he gets it. And if Jared Vanderbilt is out, that's just going to lock that in. We could also be, once again, looking to Mr. Nathan Knight all the way down to 3.9, who is kind of our value play special for a few nights there. Could get back in the starting rotation, more minutes if he does, would become a phenomenal play. So, yeah, guys, that's my overall breakdown here. Taking a look over to FanDuel, a lot of times it's going to be around the same, but I do like to point out some pricing discrepancies because FanDuel does have a tendency of pricing guys a little bit too cheap. So Damian Jones, we talked about him. He's only 4K over here on FanDuel if you want to go to him. The only problem is he is at the center position. You do have an opportunity cost there at the center position on FanDuel. It's a little bit more difficult to be playing these type of guys on DraftKings. He's minimum salary. It just makes it a little bit easier to be going there because we know he's minimum salary. He doesn't have to do the most in the world, and he's not taking up the only center spot that we have on DraftKings. So it's a little bit of a different play. Still a decent value play, but just know there's an opportunity cost there. Jalen Smith at 5.3 on FanDuel. We talked about him being a phenomenal value play, taking on this Charlotte squad. He's also a phenomenal value play on FanDuel. Love the play tonight. Certainly would be willing to go to him. Dwayne Washington Jr. is a 3.9 shooting guard on FanDuel if you want to go there. So I think that makes sense. Tyler Hero's price tag on FanDuel is one that certainly stands out as being way too cheap compared to DraftKings. He's only 6.6 over here. So he's another guy. Certainly could take advantage of his price tag over here on FanDuel, grading out as a phenomenal play for me on this slate tonight. Terry Rozier is 6.6. We talked about him on DraftKings. I also think he's a phenomenal play over here. Luka Doncic at 10K as the pay-up option at the point guard position. I certainly do think makes sense. Like I said, there's no Kristaps Porzingis. He's going to have a bunch of usage in his return. So Luka Doncic as a pay-up option I do think makes a lot of sense over here on FanDuel. We talked about Cameron Johnson and Caleb Martin, both priced in the 5K range over here on FanDuel as well. They're both going to be phenomenal plays. Cameron Johnson on the Phoenix Suns side of things, like I talked about with the Charlotte Hornets opponent. at 5.5. I certainly think he can get you there. He put up 32.5 FanDuel points last time out against a Boston team that's much better defensively. Once again, to price, and then Caleb Martin, 200 price, I should say, and Caleb Martin at 5.6. If there continues to be no Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, etc., another great value play over here on FanDuel. As far as my top pay-up options, I think we did a pretty good job discussing it, but Jimmy Butler at 9.2, Karis LeVert's going to get a big bump up. Jaylen Brown, if there continues to be no Jason Tatum, LeBron James, obviously, at the power forward position here. Domantas Sabonis getting a big bump up with there being no Chris Duarte, no Malcolm Brogdon, so he's another guy I'd be looking to pay up to. Luka Doncic at the point guard position, at the center position. Once again, Domantas Sabonis. Al Horford, if there's no Robert Williams, would become phenomenal. Yurtsevin at 6.2, really solid play, once again, over here on FanDuel, so those are some guys I'd be looking to on this slate tonight, guys. Certainly do like them. And before I let you guys go, got to give you my lock of the night. Quick reminder, guys, sponsor the program, Parlay Play. Head on over here. We get that $25 pick to 10x our money. Use the link down below in the description. Use promo code KJK003. I will be having more picks tonight. We hit this. Our bankroll is at $258.27, starting with $10. I'm really pumped about this segment. It's going great. Looking forward to giving you guys some more winners. So sign up today, use the promo code KJK003. You get that instant free $10 to play with. That's what we started this challenge with. You also get the instant match deposit up to $50 on Parlay Play today. Check them out. And with that being said, guys, let's give you my lock of the night. Let's get into it. And my lock of the night tonight is going to be Jalen Smith, taking on this Charlotte Hornets team that has been terrible defensively all season long, stepping into a starting role with there being no DeAndre Ayton, now no JaVale McGee. The minutes are solidified. This guy's been putting up 1.09 DK points per minute as far as FanDuel is concerned on the season, putting up 1.10 FanDuel points per minute, expected to get 30-plus minutes run in this one, and just too cheap around the industry. 5.3 on FanDuel, 5K on DraftKings. Get him in your lineups because he is my lock of the night. So there you have it, guys. Jalen Smith, get him in your lineups, and that is all from me in this one. If you did enjoy the content, if you could please take a second to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. You can also check out the KJK DFS premium packages over here on Patreon for only $1. You can get the Discord package during the holiday season, aka New Year's now. During the month of January, I'm still going to offer this Discord package for only $1. Link below in the description, KJK/_DFS. You can also check out the premium package, NBA projections, NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, core plays, all that fun stuff, and direct access to me, asking me questions, getting better at NBA DFS. I'll be here to help you guys out. So that is all for me in this one. I'm going to be going live at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Wish you all the best of luck on this slate tonight, and we will see you in the next one.